Hi, friends, it's Simone. I'm so glad you're joining me for another journal with me in my Hobonichi Weeks. I am working on week number 3 of 2021. Um, I have switched my pen case to this IKEA box because I just really like the fact that you can reach from the top, you can see which pens are in there, and you don't have to dig all deep. This week, I am using the January digital freebie from Sissy's Art Cafe, as well as her, well, digital freebie is not the right word. It is a digital printable from her Patreon. And she has a tier where you can support her and receive that digital freebie. And then she also has a tier where you not only get the digital stuff, but you also get sent a Happy Mail letter. I am supporting Sissy with the I think it's the tier where you get stickers and the digital printables. Um, there's one above where you also get an art print, which I don't get. Um, and this year, I'm really trying hard to use all the things that I receive, either digitally, purchased by myself, or sent by friends, to use them and right away. Yes, of course, I know that I right away is a stretchy phrase because I have been sending more Happy Mail since the beginning of the year. And also, receiving more Happy Mail means that the way I am challenging myself to do that, and I will explain that in just a second, I already have 13 stacks of stuff that I want to use. And if I'm using one stack each week in this Hobonichi Weeks, then that means that I'm already um, in the middle of how many months is 13 weeks? 3 months. So by the time that I am done with all the things that I have currently, not including any Happy Mail that comes in after today, we are looking at 2 months, 3 months from now, which is February, March, April, May. So maybe it's not going to work out. I don't know. I'm enjoying the challenge as it is right now. And whenever it becomes overwhelming, then I will look into changing the things. So that specific week turned out totally different than I had originally planned. Not design wise, not in this planner, but in real life. I was in close contact with someone who tested COVID positive, and so I had to stay at home and self isolate for the entire week. I went back to work the Monday after this Monday, so the January 25th. Um, yeah, and it was a very interesting experience because, yes, I know that COVID does not stop because I'm me, but for some reason, I didn't really, I felt kind of invincible. And so the fact that I was in contact with someone who had COVID and I was then actually um, had to self isolate, had to take a test, and then um, wait for the test results was frightening because we don't really know what COVID does to people. And what if I'm okay and healthy, but what if one of my children or my husband do not take it? It doesn't go as easy as with other people. Um, the person who actually had COVID is a friend of mine, and we worked together as well. So I wasn't exposed to her because I did not follow any COVID rules, and it is very interesting to note that none of the people that had contact with the friend um, was positive. So it does seemed to work. Wearing masks, disinfecting, staying 6 feet apart, and not having close contact with someone. We worked together, we crossed paths all the time, we touched things, and even though she was positive, I wasn't. Which I was really surprised. I was actually expecting to be, did I say positive? I was negative, so I was actually expecting to be positive. Alrighty. So, I made the inauguration a very big deal. Um, I wrote it in huge letters, and it actually was a big deal. I didn't realize how big that deal was until um, the day it happened. I watched it, and I felt relief. Um, and so I went with that. I colored it in black, and you will see that the pens that I use actually bled through. Um, the I used, for some reason, the Muji pen that I'm usually using to fill in my journaling just didn't really work. And I actually felt while I was coloring in the thicker strokes that it probably bled through. So I tried the Energel Cleaner, and I immediately realized that that wasn't the greatest idea. And so I went with this, I think it's a Pentel sign pen. um, they have a brush. They have two different kinds of nibs. There's one with brush nib and one with regular sturdy felt tip. And this one is definitely not the brush nib. This is just a regular nib, which worked fine in this case. Um, if you notice something else, you will realize that I did not use my watercolors in this spread. It I'm trying to branch out from the cluster on the right, watercolor on the left, documenting my week, then filling in the blanks with black. It's not that I'm not going to do this ever again. In fact, the next week that you will see next Saturday is going back to watercolors again. But I am just trying to let the items that I use dictate how I'm creating the spread. And I'm also not limiting myself to cluster on the right and journaling on the left. I'm trying to, again, let the stuff that I have determine how the spreads are going to turn out. I feel like I have done the cluster right journaling, documenting on the left for a long time now, and it is time for me to branch out and see what else is possible in this little book. Um, I have felt the urge to try something else, and so um, I did not want to ditch the Hobonichi Weeks for several reasons, but before I hadn't tried to do it a bit differently and go back to and see what else I can make. This is definitely more time consuming. It's not the same recipe. It's not something that is the same over and over again. So I am definitely taking more time to think about the way that I can use what is challenging me today, or yeah, the time every time that I'm creating the spread. Um, but isn't that why I'm creative and why I love being creative so much? Because I am challenged, because I need to use my brain, because I need to be creative, because I get to create something new every time. And it definitely brings me more joy. I'm more excited about creating the spreads in this notebook planner again. And so let me tell you all the reasons. The reason why I think about making or creating, documenting life in a Hobonichi Weeks for several years in a row. Wouldn't it be just the best to have this filled, chunky little planner? Here you can see how it actually bled through. So maybe I should use a Pentel sign pen next time around, right from the beginning. Wouldn't it be really fun to have like this collection of documenting notebooks, same size, same planner, over a certain amount of years? I love that idea. So I really would love to do that in the upcoming years, but for that, I need to keep it fresh. Let me know how you're documenting your life right now in the comments below. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.